Live. So I'm going to talk about one aspect of the body code today that you can learn about, and if you'd like to come on while I am live, we can do a session. But we won't be too much time. But there's something that you need to know about, and that's trauma. We have traumatic times in our lives where things happen, maybe loss of somebody in our family, or even a pet, or something that traumatized us in our life, a car accident. Maybe our own birth can be very traumatic and can affect us going later on. And that can play into your happiness, your self-esteem, your physical health growing older. So we've talked in the past about the emotion code chart, which has 60 emotions on it that are negative emotions that can become trapped in your system. But there's also the trauma chart. So this is an example of a trauma chart. So the trauma chart is trauma energy chart, and it has about 110 emotions on it that are more traumatic. And you can see up in the corner there, like parental approval, parental disapproval, unwanted, unloved, and unrequited love. So those are different traumas that can occur. The lack of love from a parent, or having to have parental approval for something, can be traumatic for somebody. Or feeling unwanted or unloved or having unrequited love can be traumatic. So we do tests on this the same way we do with trapped emotions. And when we find trauma emotions and they can be cleared, it can be very, very intense experience for people. I've had a client recently who a trauma came up in the middle of a session, and she just was overwhelmed with emotion over being cleared, and was kind of surprising. It was the trauma called coveting. So coveting we think of as being wanting somebody else's possessions, or coveting a possession or a person. And it's in the Bible, thou shalt not covet. But what coveting actually is, that's part of it. But the main part of coveting is losing the remembrance of our connection with the higher power, or God, if you will. And when we lose that, and we lose that spiritual connection in our lives, it takes away something about who we are. And we're not as connected, and not as loving, and not as soulful as we have been. And as a result, then we look for the love we've lost, and the joy we've lost, and the fulfillment we've lost in other things, like the material. And that's where coveting comes in as we know it. So thou shalt not covet. In other words, thou shalt not forget that we are connected to a higher source, and that the source loves us and protects us and guides us through life, if we are open to it and remember it, and have faith in it. Yeah. So these traumas are things that I clear regularly. If you think you've had a trauma in your life, or somebody you know has had a trauma and they haven't really dealt with it, well, there are many ways you can do that. Of course, professional therapy is always a good way to do those kind of things. It can take time, and you have to talk things out, but they are professionally trained, and they are great to go to for dealing with traumas. I have another way I can do it. It's another alternative, by doing energy work. It tends to go faster. It doesn't take as long to do it. And but you don't get that inner understanding necessarily of where it came from. But it's very effective, and it works, and I've done it numerous times. I'm working with veterans with PTSD. That's the most classic trauma. It's a deep trauma, and there's usually a lot of layers to it. And depending on what they've seen or experienced, if they were in battle, It's can be challenging, and it takes time to do that, as it would with professional therapy. But I do have a PTSD client that I'm working with right now, and he likes me, likes working with me, is open to it, but so far the door has been slammed shut on healing. So it's taking a lot of sessions to clear away all these traumas, and we've cleared away multiple traumas so far. So again, if you know anybody who experiences trauma, have them contact me. My website, balanceharmonyjoy.com, and they can schedule an appointment on there, and I can talk to them. Or there is a phone number on the website, Balance Harmony Joy website, and you can send me an email or hit the contact button on the website, and I will get back to you and have a chat with you about that, because trauma is not something that you take lightly and just jump into and have sessions necessarily. But using this modality, it's a very successful way to get healing. And as the website says, when you are healed, then you go into balance. When your body is balanced and your emotions are balanced and your spiritual body is balanced, then you reach a state of harmony. So when future things happen, your body is able to take care of itself and balance itself. And when you're able to do that on a regular basis, and you know you're protected and guided by your inner self and by your inner knowledge, you reach a state of joy. And that's where we want to get in our lives. So I'm here to help. My name is Peter Scott Stringham, and I look forward to talking to you again. Take care.